So as we do a little background on this tax information stuff, one of the things I want you to understand about payroll taxes is that Social Security taxes and Medicare taxes are all types of this payroll tax. Social Security taxes are also known as FICA, is how we abbreviate it anyway. FICA stands for Federal Insurance Contributions Act, and these are all things in which we have to pay. We'll all have to pay our fair share on this. There's also another tax that's involved. It's called Medicare, and it's used to provide medical benefits for certain individuals when they reach 65. Medicare is for workers, retired workers, and the spouses of workers, and retired workers are able to use this, or they're eligible upon Medicare benefits when they do reach 65. Federal income taxes are also used to provide for national programs such as defense, community development, and law enforcement. So all of our policemen and stuff are paid for with this, with these taxes that we pay. Employers who withhold payroll taxes and income taxes from employees' pay, they're the ones who do that, are the people who we work for. They hold them for us, and so it's taken out before we even get the check. And employees, that's you and I, the workers, we have to complete this W-4 form first that you've been filling out, and it's called the W-4 Employees Withholding Allowance Certificate. And you do that so that employers, our bosses, know how much income tax to withhold from their employees' pay. They hold it back, pay it to the government, so that they get their fair share beforehand. We'll talk a little bit more about how we pay taxes and how tax season works later on. But this first element about the W-4, that's what this is all about. It's about figuring out how much is your boss going to hold back so that we could pay our Social Security taxes, our Medicare tax, all are part of the payroll taxes. Understand what those percentages are, and you'll do great. Alright, so I'm hoping by now you have the fact sheet. One of the things I want to ask you is, do you know what happens to the amount earned, can you explain why a worker can earn $100 but receive a paycheck for less than $100? Are you able to explain that to me? Well, what happens to the amount earned but not received by the employee? How are payroll taxes used? These are all questions that you do need to know for our test that we're going to be given later on this week. One of the things that's important is that $100 is gross pay. That is what you earn, the whole amount of what you earn. And the amount that you get for your check after all of the withholdings are done, that is called net pay. Gross is the amount that you earned, and net is what you got to take home. Okay? That's important to remember. The next thing I want to talk to you about is what happens to the amount earned but not received. Well, some of the difference consists of payroll taxes and income tax withholdings. And the employer sends these taxes to the federal government. Remember, the employer is your boss. There's a difference between employer, employee. You, the worker, are the employee. The employer is the one who hires you, okay? The company that you work for. Now, not all of the monies that are withheld go to taxes. It's possible that you can put money in an IRA, or you can put it in a, some other form of stock options or something like that as well. And those monies are held back as well. There's also insurance, things like that that you might be putting your money toward. The next question I want to talk about is how payroll taxes are used. Well, Social Security taxes are used to provide for retired workers and their dependents, as well as for disabled workers and their dependents. Workers, retired workers, the spouses of workers and retired workers, all of them are eligible to receive Medicare benefits when they reach 65 years old. How are federal income taxes used? Well, federal income taxes are used to pay for national defense, veterans and foreign affairs, special programs, physical, human, and community development, law enforcement, and it's also used to pay on the interest of the national debt. It really doesn't go to pay off the national debt, it's just paying off the interest. We'll talk a little bit more about interest in another section, but that's where our federal income tax